Blood was everywhere, but strangely contained mostly to the beds. The sheer brutally 8 people slaughtered without waking the neighbors suggested either a killer with ice-cold nerves or something almost supernatural in its silence. The sheer number of blows showed uncontrolled rage, yet the methodical covering of faces and mirrors hinted at rituals or remorse. The doctors and investigators arrived. The scene was so disturbing that some grew physically ill. One detective later said the sight of the children crushed skulls haunted him for the rest of his life. The entire town went into the shock. Doors that had never been locked were now bolted at night. Men patrolled streets with guns. Fear gripped Villisca like a fever. The investigators and the suspects. The investigation was chaotic by modern standards. No fingerprints were taken. The science was new. The crime scene was contaminated almost immediately as curious townspeople tramped through the house. Still, several intriguing clues emerged. A bloody axe was found. Footprints suggest the killer wore size 11 shoes. A piece of bacon or meat was left on the kitchen table. The killer had smoked a cigarette while sitting on the porch after the murders, an act of chilling calm. The main suspect was a traveling preacher named George Kelly. Kelly had attended the church service that night and was known to have strange behavior, including voyeurism. He was arrested, tried twice, and acquitted both times. His first trial ended in a hung jury, the second in no guilty. Many believed he was railroaded or that powerful people protected the real killer. Other theories pointed to a dangerous man named Henry Lee Moore, no relation, a serial axe murderer who killed families in the Midwest around the same time. Some suspected a jealous business rival of Josiah's or even a cover-up involving prominent citizens. One wild but persistent theory claims the killer was a member of a satanic cult or that the house itself attracted evil. No one was ever convicted. The case went cold and remained officially unsolved more than 110 years later. The hauntings begin almost immediately after the murders. Strange reports came from the house. Subsequent owners complained of hearing children crying, footsteps on the stairs, and doors slamming at night. Lights would turn on by themselves. Object moves. One family reported seeing a shadowy man standing at the top of the stairs holding an axe. In the 1990s, the house was restored to its 1912 condition and opened for tours. It quickly gained a reputation as one of America's most haunted locations. Paranormal investigators have captured EVPs of children's voices saying "Help us" or "He is here." Tourists report feeling watched, sudden temperature drops, and even being touched or scratched. One famous overnight stay involved a group who claimed to see apparitions of the Moore's children running through the rooms. Others have fled in the middle of the night after hearing heavy footsteps and the sound of the axe striking flesh. Ghost hunters regularly report strong activity in the children's bedroom and the attic, where the killer may have hidden before the attack. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, the physiological weight of the house is undeniable. Standing in the rooms where innocent children were slaughtered in their sleep creates a primal terror that no movie can replicate. Why this case still terrifies America? The Villisca axe murders combine every element of classic American horror: an idyllic small town, innocent victims, a brutal and senseless crime, a killer who was never caught, and a lingering supernatural aura. The fact that the murderer ate food and lingered at the scene suggests a level of psychopathy that feels almost inhuman. It was a part of a wave of axe murders across the Midwest in the early 1910s. Some researchers believe a single traveling killer was responsible for several family slayings before and after Villisca. The inability to solve the case left a permanent scar on the town and the nation's imagination. Today, the Villisca Axe Murder House operates as a museum and overnight attraction. Visitors can sleep in the very rooms where the murders occur for those brave enough. Many leave convinced that something dark still walks in the halls. Some never returned. The Murray family and the sisters were ordinary people living ordinary lives in the safe town. One night of unimaginable violence changed that forever. Their story reminds us that evil does not always come from outside. Sometimes it slips through an unlocked door in the dead of night, strikes without mercy, and disappears like smoke, leaving only blood, silence, and questions that echo for generations. If you ever visit Villisca, stand outside the white fence on 2nd Avenue at dusk, look up at the windows, imagine the lights going out one by one on that warm June night in 1912. Listen carefully. Some say on quiet nights you can still hear the faint sound of children laughing, followed by the soft, rhythmic thud of an axe. The killer was never found, but in the Villisca axe murder house, it feels like the never truly left.